Gauteng Health MEC Ntombi Mekwe says a total of 4.4 billion rand has been paid to service providers and suppliers. The department has been in the news recently over the non-payment of health service providers. These include security companies, NGOs, municipalities, medical waste removal companies and suppliers of coal and fuel. Mekwe unveiled the department's turnaround strategy in a media briefing this morning.
What we want to achieve is to ensure that we pay people within a 30-day period, because that is what is in the Act. So we need to comply as a department. We have now put in place a plan to avoid a recurrence of the accruals and cash flow challenges that we have experienced in the past. Our plan includes achieving a cost saving of about 1.6 billion through cost containment measures.
ANC Youth League Treasurer General Pule Mabe says unemployment in South Africa is unacceptably high. He says the youth are the most affected. Mabe was addressing scores of mourners attending the funeral service of Tshepiso Nebe in Mahikeng in the northwest. 27-year-old Nebe was allegedly killed by a stray bullet during a service delivery protest on Tuesday. Mabe says lack of job opportunities have left many without a choice but to take their frustrations to the street and protest, which at times turns violent. Police are monitoring the situation as mourners are now moving to the local cemetery where Nebe will finally be laid to rest. President Jacob Zuma has arrived at Ugu Sports Ground for the funeral service of a slain ANC councillor on the KwaZulu-Natal South Coast. 34-year-old Wandi Lemkhize was murdered in a drive-by shooting in Margate last week Saturday. He was returning from the ANC policy conference when he was attacked. Among the dignitaries at the funeral is ANC Secretary-General Gwede Mantashe. Zanele Buthelezi has more.
Hundreds of mourners have packed the marquee at the Ugu Sports Ground for the funeral service of Mkhize. Most of these are wearing ANC T-shirts with a picture of Wandi Mkhize at the front. President Jacob Zuma and Premier Zweli Mkhize are among the people to deliver keynote addresses. Also attending the funeral service are Ministers Siyabonga Cwele, Malusi Gigaba, provincial MECs and ANC leaders, as well as former National Police Commissioner Bheki Cele. Mkhize will be laid to rest later in the afternoon at his home in KwaZulu-Natal. Zanele Buthelezi, SABC News, Damalake.
In other news, Cape Town police are investigating whether there's a link between 4 women arrested for possession of unlicensed firearms and a shooting incident at a funeral of a gang member in Ottery. Police spokesperson November Philander says the women were arrested when police followed their car, which sped off from the cemetery after shots were fired at mourners from a taxi. He says 2 illegal guns were found in the women's car. The suspects in the taxi are still at large.
We are going to investigate if the 2 incidents arrested the 4 females and the shooting incident can be linked or is linked to each other. And from there onwards, we will investigate if it is also gang related.
And finally, on the international front, donor countries at a conference in Tokyo have called on the Afghan government to tackle corruption as they pledge billions of dollars in aid. Delegates from more than 70 countries have promised $16,000 to support Afghanistan up to and beyond the withdrawal of foreign troops in 2014. President Hamid Karzai promised to fight corruption and said support from abroad was vital to help Afghanistan in developing.
Our economy continues to be underdeveloped, the private sector embryonic, and our vast natural resources largely untapped. Undoubtedly, it will take many years of hard work on our part as Afghans, as well as continued empowering support from our international partners before Afghanistan can achieve prosperity and self-reliance.
Taking a look at the top story, Gauteng Health MEC Ntombi Mekwe says a total of 4.4 billion rand has been paid to service providers and suppliers. SAFM, South Africa's news and information leader. Your next news update is at 1 o'clock.